honestly, like a Fred Astaire.
But only from the waist down.
From the ankles down, his feet moving.
You should see me going right now.
Oh man. So yeah, what's who do you have on the shows coming up?
Well, Leanne Mladen is. I think she's going to host the Thursday show. I still haven't decided. I haven't decided if she's going to host or headline. I think I'm going to get her to host because I want more Leanne.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a long show because it's an open mic. So.
That's going to be a long show.
Are you coming?
I'll come, yeah.
It's in Port Elgin, right?
Yeah.
And buddy James Ramage from.
He's a local guy too.
Yeah, from. He's coming out to work on his stuff.
Nice.
But it's like I said, it's an open mic kind of idea. It's only $10 for the show. You get to see all the pros, all the amateurs, everybody on the show.
Yeah. Well, we should see. There's a few other people I know who've been talking to me. If you're watching right now and you've been thinking about doing some stand up, and you want, maybe give me a call. I'll help you work on your material, and then we'll go out and we'll do a set.
Yeah, for sure. We'll try to crowbar a few extra people in. Absolutely.
me and I'll do like a duo with someone.
Yeah.
Someone who's excited to try some stand up comedy.
That'd be cool. But you're gonna show up to the Kincardine show, and you're gonna do.
Yes, I will. I will perform a rap.
You rapping?
Yeah. How's the sound? Cool. Awesome.
How does he know? He doesn't even have headphones on.
I know.
He just knows. He feels it. He's watching levels.
He can feel.
Oh yeah, the waves look good, man. They're fine.
So, there's a movie coming out in a couple of weeks, I think, right?
Yeah.
And your son was.
My son was a stand-in on it.
Yeah. So what was that like?
It was just long days of sitting there staring at people, at stage moms, and you're just like, everybody's nice people, but you spend every day 10 hours a day with them, and then after a while they start making you bananas.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you knew that, and that's why you're proud of it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I had to take a break eventually. Like at the end of the first month, I was like, okay, I know we committed to like this, and it's $100 million movie, but I'm gonna need a couple days off. I mean, my son needs a couple days off. This is his mom.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was actually, but it was a lot of fun
to get back into the set, and you're like, we need to go.
Well, he really wants to go back and do more of it. He loved it, and he did well with it. Like, because he's patient and not too hyper.
Yeah. That's always a bonus working on screen too, because people don't realize how much sitting around is involved.
Yeah.
It's mostly just wait, and then they put you in front of the camera, and even when you're in front of the camera, then you wait for them to reset and wait for continuity to do their thing. It's just exhausting.
It was cool though. I didn't really realize that, I had never been on a movie from beginning to end before.
No.
I've done like a few days here and there, and I've done like chunks like doing lighting and stuff, and I've been a few days here and there doing background and extra work, but I've never been like a full from beginning to end.
Yeah, that would be a cool experience.
Yeah.
So yeah, what shows do you host in Toronto, or I guess not in Toronto, but in the GTA?
Well, Etobicoke's technically Toronto, but that's really the only show I'm hosting right now.
Yeah, where's that one at?
It's a Vape on the Lake.
I used to live like 2 doors down from there, basically, at a furniture shop. I think it's Elmer's Furniture. It's like literally just a couple doors down from there.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's my old neighborhood.
Yeah?
That's my current neighborhood too, actually. To a degree. I'm further up the highway, but it's really like that's the closest thing to a downtown that I can get to within 10 minutes. So.
Do you know K. Trevor Wilson?
Yep.
My hairdresser always asks me how he's doing, because he's from Etobicoke too. Brian Tovey is his name, and he's always asking. He's like, "Do you know Trevor? You know Trevor?" He's like, "Yeah, we used to have campfires all the time." Yeah. so say hi from Brian next time you see him.
Yeah, I haven't. Well, I guess it's Thunder Bay the last time I saw him.
Seriously?
Yeah, because that's where they shoot Letterkenny.
They
the
do?
show. I think it's Thunder Bay. I was up around. They got a lot of shale and piles of rock up in Thunder Bay. I think that's where I was. They got an airport?
Yeah.
Yeah, we flew there. Yeah. So probably.
You flew there?
Yeah.
Why did you fly to Thunder Bay?
For a show.
Oh, okay. That's a good reason to fly there. It's better than taking the ferry.
What'd you call me?
Oh man. So yeah, I guess I'm not a great interviewer for stand-up comedians because I'm like I know what people do, but yeah, what's it like being a stand-up comic?
I don't even know anymore. This year I've hardly been out. I used to be out like 6 nights a week doing as many shows as I could. I was bananas for a long time, for years and years and years. And then this year my mom got a little sick at the beginning of the year, and I started going up to Owen Sound to just hang out with her. And, get food for her, basically, because hospital food's terrible.
Yeah.
And
she doesn't like day old peanut butter and jelly.
Oh man, it's the same 5 meals over and over again. So after you're there for a week, it's just boring as can be, you know. So I was making her things and going out and buying her, getting her lunches and stuff like that, getting her takeout, trying to get her to. She had to get her calorie count.
Wow.
So anyway, so she was in there, and she was in Owen Sound for 2 months, and Southampton for a month, Visagi Memorial for a month, and Wyerton for 6 weeks as well, in recuperation.
Oh.
So yeah, I spent I spent most of the summer doing that, and got to festival time. I'm like, man, I've only been on stage like maybe 12, 20 times this year.
Holy cow!
Like it's been totally different than any other year since I started. Like since I started, it's been like at least 6 shows a week.
Yeah.
And sometimes like up to 20.
Yeah.
You know, like you just go like.
Well, yeah.
But you go through phases too, right? And if you got something specific that you're trying to work on, and if you feel like you're getting some heat, and then you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna start working more, and like get this feeling going, and get this, you know, and work on what I got going. And then you realize, no, that was just an illusion. You had nothing going on.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
there's no point in trying
It's
anymore.
totally like a drug too, because when you do feel that heat,
oh yeah,
you don't want to stop. Even though I hate the lifestyle, like that's why I don't really do it anymore. I just don't like I can't be in the bars that late, and I can't go out every night. Sometimes 3 bars a night. Like I did it for a while, like when like Nigel and Bar were working hard, so I would just tag along with them. I just follow them everywhere they went. And if you guys go check them out, they're great stand-up comics.
Yeah, they're still working hard.
And I just couldn't keep up with them. Like there was nights where they would be hitting like 4 bars, and I'd be like, guys, I'm done. I'm out. I'm tapping out. I'm going home.
Yeah, because they're having a beer at every bar, right?
Yeah.
You know, that's how you go broke too, unless you're getting paid for your spots.
Yeah. Well, and that's
nobody is really.
And that's why people are like, oh, stand-up comedy attracts depressed people. I'm like, no, I think stand-up comedy makes depressed people. Like,
oh, that's sad. Yeah, you're probably right. But I mean, at the same time, like I think that's maybe what I've gone through this year, because it's like I stopped caring as much.
Yeah.
But that caring, it's not caring. Can I say like F words and stuff on this?
Oh, no, I'm better now, I guess.
Fine.
I was gonna say we used to, but
I don't give
because
I don't give the F.
Yeah,
You
that's
yeah. I don't give an F except on podcasts where I ask before I say it.
Yeah.
I can ask permission to say F.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I don't give an F. F in anything.
I'm uncontrollable. I don't give a F. It's just an F. Forget the other 3. But yeah, what drew you to stand-up comedy in the first place?
It's funny. I always like. It wasn't like I was big into comedians, but I always liked writing and performance, and you know, so from that, and I remember like I watched an episode of Shirley back in like 1994. And Kenny Robinson, and Darren Frost, and Mark Breslin were on it, and they were talking about how stand-up comedy is a platform for anti-censorship, you know. And
those guys all stand so hard for that too. Like,
yeah,
to this
well.
day. Wow.
Like to this day, I don't know. Like till like a year ago, for sure. but it was like super inspiring. And I was in journalism school at the time. I was at Humber College Journalism, and I was like, "This is exactly what I need to hear. This is what I should be doing. I shouldn't be trying to like, you know, manipulate the news into pleasing my editors.
No.
I should be
Speaking
saying saying the truth,
Yeah.
you know. And it took, but it took a long time because you know, just the way that life goes, and there didn't seem like there was an avenue even then for like a total outsider.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I didn't get into it at that time. Later, I met my wife. We got married. She was, I guess just before we got married, she was taking classes at Second City doing improv. And that for her grew, she took performance art and visual art at Guelph before that. So it was like a natural progression for her to go from performance art to improv.
Yeah.
And then from improv, she formed a sketch troupe, and then the sketch troupe did really well. They were talented, and again got a little bit of heat, and then immediately dissolved. And so, like realizing that you can't really rely on anybody, she started doing stand up. My wife started doing stand up before I did, and then she was just stealing all my bits from around the house, and I was like, that's enough. I gotta get out. Everything's good. Well, my husband is so mad, you know. I forgot I probably can't say that one either. I caught myself before I did. When I say that, I mean like he's a donkey.
I think ask shit we did.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. What about like I'm not gonna make
the 7 words
she skated towards me with both hands stuffed in her muff.
Yeah.
Can I say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as it's double entendre, as long as there's a reasonable assumption
okay.
that anyone could make that we mean something else.
Okay. Good. I like that.
Yeah. So yeah, what? Sorry, I'm gonna put this coffee cup down so I stop fingering it. So what's? Well, yeah. Who do you have on the show again? You got Ron Vaudry.
Ron Vaudry, Leanne Milan are going to be at the first 2 shows, and then the 2 of them and Keith Pedro are doing the final show, the gala. Keith Pedro's. I don't even want to call him an up and comer. He's an arrived. He's there. He's done the last 2 Just for Laughs. He's been on Video on Trial, Degrassi, tons of things.
Yeah.
All these guys are big time comedians. Ron Vaudry he's been going since 1979.
I can't.
He did Arsenio Hall in the 80s, like the show.
Can't even imagine, man. Actually, I kind of want to talk to you a little bit more about censorship, since we started opening that can of worms and we didn't get to. But you're kind of, to me, you represent, like, because my relationship to the stand-up community now is through Facebook.
Yeah.
And you know what the stand-up community is like in Facebook. And for people who don't, it's generally just a bunch of people starting fights with one another.
Yeah.
But you just don't seem to care, which I really like. Like you, or at least there's an air of like, well, I'm going to say what I'm going to say. And
that's my outlet for my whole not giving an F thing, I think. I basically said, I don't care about Facebook. Facebook's kind of silly.
Yeah.
So I just basically torched it. And I still spend as much time on it, but I just like, it's just a whole different entity. You know, I have like a Blair Streeter Presents profile, and that's where I run shows out of. And then my personal profile is a little bit more locked off. But I don't know. I just think it's crazy. Everybody's crazy right now, and everybody's saying that person's more crazy, that person's a bad person, that person's a bad person. There's no bad people. We're all good people, you know. Like, well, there's a few bad people. Like very tiny number of bad people, and then like all these good people who are basically in the same boat, and we're not listening to each other at all. And I'm there to try to, through like maybe I'm a little brutal, but I'm just trying to be a voice for these people who just get shut down so hard all the time.
Well, that's my way of looking at it too, and I think as comedians we kind of are like. We kind of go through the fire of like honesty, because honesty is one of the most respected things in the stand-up community. Like, and it's also kind of cringy when you hear someone go up and you know that they are running a bit that they've like manufactured to be funny, when it's like, but they're telling you like it's honest, like an honest story, and like we all fabricate to some extent. Like things need to be larger than life when you tell a story, and they need to be more immediate, but. Like honesty is such an appreciated thing in that community, And like our teacher at Humber, Larry Horowitz, used to always say, "You guys are the gatekeepers for free speech and honesty."
That's how it was, even like five years ago when you were in, well, that's about when you were in that program, right? And it was like that, and something changed so fast, and it's like comedy's suffering. Comedy has become so homogenized that's why I try to bring like a nice variety of people, like different ages, different backgrounds.
Yeah, because I mean, I think my view of it is that with Netflix, sort of comedy has become a mainstream consumer thing that doesn't happen in the club anymore.
Yeah.
It's become something that's packaged and then sold.
Yeah.
And I think that sort of has an impact on the clubs. It has an impact on the way guys work. And
because everybody expects every comedian to go up on stage and put their HBO special right out in front of them, and like depending on the show you're at. And that's why that's why I'm giving these 3 different shows. That's why we have the open mic component, so that people up here can see that side of it, see people working on material that they're not entirely comfortable with, maybe,
something that's a little bit more raw.
Yeah, and some people do not appreciate it. Some people are like, "Well, I just feel ripped off." I'm like, "Well, it was an open mic, And you never stop talking the whole time. If you're going to sit there talking the whole time, you're never going to have fun at a comedy show, because either you're going to be the person responsible for ruining it for the people around you, and you're not going to hear what's actually being said, which is usually something better than what I'm saying right now.
Well, and this is actually a great place to do this. Like, what would you say? Like, if you could like run a school for like audiences. What would you say, like, an audience should know before they come to a comedy show? I know that you can't prep an audience, and that would, like, homogenize the audience, and it would be boring, but... or maybe it would just be better. But if you could tell people, like, here are the things you need to know before you come see a comedy show.
It's a one-way thing. Like, if the comedian is asking you a question, answer it as honestly as you can. Answer it quickly, loudly, and as shortly as you can. And let the professionals make you take that and do what they're going to do with it, It's when people start thinking that it's supposed to be some kind of back and forth the whole night. It's not, it's not a table for us to have a discussion. It's a stage. And talking and being disruptive during a comedy show is no different than doing it during a movie. And I don't know. I don't like when people are talking.
Yeah, it's like people approach it sometimes like a town hall meeting when it's not. You're coming to see a show. Yeah. It's just, I think, because comedy is written like a dialogue instead of like a monologue. Like if you went out and watched a storytelling show, I have a feeling you probably wouldn't get that atmosphere. Yeah. But it's because as comedians we kind of come at it like we're talking to the people in the audience and not just to the ether.
Yeah, exactly.
Feel like they're gonna
and if you're not there, and if you're not engaged, like if you're just kind of sitting there waiting to be affected, it might not be. I don't know. Yeah. Just just try to keep the chatter down. Yeah. That's if you're gonna be an audience member. Just.
I've heard that, and Ron used to work in the UK, right? Like he.
Yeah, he does. That's where he was most of the year. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, so
8 or 10 months a year he's there.
Have you talked to him at all about what audiences are like in the UK? Because I've heard that they're completely different, like far more raucous and like more.
Well,
take guys down.
My understanding is that if you're not good and if you're not prepared, that they'll rip into you a lot quicker and they'll bail on you faster. But at the same time, they're also more experienced at being audiences in comedy clubs, so they kind of have more. They let you, as long as your jokes are working, they're not going to come after you, because so many of the comedians there do just kind of eviscerate people, like
I think people are just a little bit more snappy in the UK. Like I feel like everyone's always got like a comeback and like they're a little bit bitey.
Well, they put something in the water to keep the colonists calm, Don't think that never went away.
Hey Patrick, as a third party who maybe has never done stand up, do you have any questions that about how stand up works?
Yeah, like you just kind of carry a notepad with you and just jot down the funny shit that you see throughout the day.
No, I just drive around and try to remember it, and then I forget. Gotta just go back to the material I've been doing for the past 10 years. Stay in my comfort zone.
Do you get nerves anymore if you were to play in a new venue, or you still get the butterflies?
I might for these shows because they're mine, but no, no. I don't. I'm more comfortable on stage than off stage most of the time now.
I don't get nerves until I'm dying. Like that's when they come for me. Like,
Yeah.
If I've stepped like off the ledge and I'm just falling,
Yeah.
like that's when I start to sweat.
That's when I shine. That's when I just like.
That's the not giving.
Light it. Who cares?
I've never been good at working a crowd. I've never been good at like I'm like a rehearsed like speed. Like I sometimes it turns on and I can work, but like I don't work like off of my script. I never script.
I always try to work off the top of my head, but like I said, I always end up falling back on 10-year-old jokes because that doesn't usually work. But I often don't have much of a plan going in to start a night. But most of the shows I've been doing lately, I've been playing guitar and doing songs.
No.
So like I've got a couple of. I started writing songs based on the chords. So like if the chord progression is C A B B A G E, that song's now called Cabbage. You know, so a lot of them only have 3 chords.
Some Joni Mitchell, just a cab song in there.
Yeah, stuff like that.
All right, well let's plug the show one more time. Where can they get tickets?
Okay, they can get tickets at the venues. So the show in Port Elgin is at Chester's, and all the shows are 9 o'clock. So Chester's on Thursday, you can get tickets at Chester's. Gillies on Friday, you can get tickets at Gillies. Old Town Hall in Southampton, you cannot get tickets at Old Town Hall in Southampton. You have to go to. What the heck do you go?
Saggingshores.com.
No, I have it on my other flyer.
Oh.
It's Kathy's Flowers and Gifts in Port Elgin, and they only have tickets to the gala show. But the easiest thing to do is just to go on the internet and go to SoggingShoresComedy.com, and then you click on the shows that you like, that you want to go see. Bottom of each page has a button that sends you to brown paper tickets, and you order through them. Or if you want to just not give my site any attention whatsoever, you can go straight to brown paper tickets. It's all really the same information. There's a couple extra pictures on the site.
If you want to see the faces of the people who are going to make you laugh.
No, there's still pictures on there too. You can pretty much, basically, it's the same.
All right, man. Well, thanks for coming on and doing this today, and thanks for hanging out in our sort of makeshift studio today.
I liked it.
I like this actually. This works.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll put a desk here.
Yeah.
It's evolving right in front of your eyes. Thanks, man. Thanks for coming on. And thanks for watching. Oh.
So you turn it off, or we just walk away?
Yeah, we just walk away.
Really? You just kind of like drift out of the frame?
No, usually we have some sort of sign off or something. But bye.